I sat in the passenger seat of our old caravan, staring at the house I grew up in. My friend once called it the house of horrors, and she wasn't wrong. But tonight, that was all about to change. My two brothers and I were finally escaping our parents. Growing up, our dad's favorite punishment was making us stand on one leg, reciting textbook pages. If we stumbled on a word, he'd scream in our faces for hours. Mom wasn't any better. But my oldest brother, Caleb, always promised us, one day I'll save us, and that day had finally come. Caleb bought a beat-up caravan with money he'd secretly saved from his part-time job. My younger brother, Liam, grabbed his bags, his face a mix of terror and excitement. We were ready, but just as he stepped onto the driveway, the front door flew open. It was Mom and Dad. "Where do you think you're going?" Mom shrieked. "You can't hide from us," Dad roared. Mom lunged at Liam, grabbing his shirt and dragging him to the ground. But something was different this time. Caleb and I didn't freeze. We pulled her off him, and for the first time in our lives, our parents looked powerless. We scrambled into the caravan, Caleb gunned the engine, and we sped away into the night. We all started laughing not because anything was funny, but because for the first time, we were free. We drove nonstop that first night. Caleb and I took turns at the wheel while Liam slept in the back. They both snored like lawnmowers, so I just stared out the window at the endless ribbon of highway and the star-dusted sky. That's when I noticed another caravan driving beside us, a small brown one. And in its back window sat the most beautiful boy I'd ever seen. He had dark, messy hair, soft eyes, and a strong jawline. He caught me staring and smiled. I felt my cheeks burn. Then he held up a piece of paper to the glass. It said, "I like your smile." Before I could even think of what to do, Caleb yanked the curtain shut. "No boys until you're 18, he grumbled. The next day, we pulled into a caravan park to restock. And there it was, the little brown caravan, parked just a few spots down from us. As I was hooking up our water hose, a voice behind me said, "Hey," it was him. "Guess we're traveling the same route." I managed to say my name was Arya. We talked for just a few minutes, but it felt like an instant connection. Just then, Caleb called my name, and I knew I had to go. As I turned to leave, the boy, whose name was Rowan, whispered, "Meet me at the river tonight, midnight." And I went. He was waiting under a huge oak tree, holding a single wildflower. We talked for hours, about everything and nothing. It felt like I'd known him my whole life. He kissed me, and it was perfect. Before we parted, he took out a small knife and carved our initials into the tree trunk, our +A. As the sun started to rise, I rushed back to our caravan, my heart soaring. But when I got there, Caleb was pacing back and forth, his face etched with panic. "Arya, it's Liam. He's gone." We searched the entire park, every trailer, every tent, every corner. Nothing. Rowan helped too, even calling the police. But they said we had to wait 24 hours to file a report. Caleb wouldn't wait. "We'll find him ourselves," he said, his voice grim. "Get in." We jumped in our caravan and drove down every road leading away from the park, going deeper and deeper into unfamiliar country. Night fell. The dirt tracks turned to sand, swallowing our path behind us. By morning, we were hopelessly lost, trapped in the middle of a desert with no way back. I collapsed onto the sand, sobbing. Liam was gone. We were stranded, and I was sure I'd never see Rowan again. We had one spare tank of fuel and a few cans of food. We picked a direction and just drove. For hours, the sun beat down on us. Finally, we hit a gravel road. We followed it until nightfall, but it led to nothing. The next morning, delirious from heat and worry, we spotted a lonely cabin in the distance. It felt like a mirage. Inside, the walls were covered in photos of children all different ages, all different races. Dusty toys were scattered everywhere. A chill went down my spine, but our hunger was stronger than our fear. The kitchen was bizarrely stocked with candy, chips, and soda. We grabbed everything we could carry and left as fast as we could. A few hours later, our caravan sputtered and died. We were out of fuel. For 5 days, we survived on junk food. Stress made Caleb and me fight constantly. Every night, I cried myself to sleep, convinced we'd never find Liam. And then, on the 5th day, a miracle. A tiny speck on the horizon grew larger, resolving into a small brown caravan. It was Rowan. He and his family found us. They gave us water and insisted on taking us to the nearest town. We squeezed into their caravan, dizzy with relief. Rowan sat beside me, flashing that same gentle smile. But instead of heading toward civilization, his dad turned the caravan back toward the desert. Caleb looked confused. Why are we going this way? Rowan's dad just smiled in the rearview mirror. Town is close, don't worry. But he didn't stop until we were right back at that creepy cabin. What are we doing here? Caleb demanded. Rowan's dad turned off the engine. This is our holiday home. You'll be safe here for the night. Inside, the cabin was transformed. It was clean, organized. The walls were bare, all the photos of the children were gone. The fridge was full of real food. Rowan's mom made us a huge dinner, and they set up beds for us on the living room floor. I was so exhausted, I fell asleep almost instantly. Sometime around 3 a.m., a hand shook my shoulder. I jolted awake. It was Liam. He was whispering, his voice trembling. Arya, we have to go, now. I shot up. He looked pale, starved, and absolutely terrified. Caleb woke up and yelled his name. The lights snapped on. Rowan's dad stood in the doorway, his face like stone. How did you get out, boy? He asked Liam. Liam just screamed, run. They're kidnappers. Chaos erupted. Caleb shoved Rowan's dad out of the way. Rowan and his mother tried to block the door, shouting, you're not going anywhere. But adrenaline and terror made us unstoppable. We fought our way outside and sprinted for their brown caravan. The keys were still in the ignition. Caleb started it, and we tore down the dirt road, praying they didn't have another car. A few miles away, we spotted our own abandoned caravan. We quickly transferred the spare fuel can from Rowan's, got ours running, and drove both vehicles away. We didn't stop until we reached a small village. We bought a map, filled our tanks, and stocked up on food. For days, we drove as far as we could from that desert, from that cabin, from that family. Eventually, we found a quiet fishing village by the beach. It had permanent spots for caravans, friendly people, and no memories chasing us. We've lived here for 5 years now. Liam never talks about what happened to him during those days he was missing. And I've tried to forget Rowan, the boy I kissed under the oak tree, the boy who belonged to a family of kidnappers. One time at the post office, I saw their faces on a wanted poster. I didn't read the details. Some things are better left forgotten. Thanks for listening. If you liked this story, make sure to follow for more.